Many of you that's seen the viral video of some 20-something-year-olds putting up a sign at Barstool Bar that says F the Jews. Now, F the Jews isn't just offensive. It transcends from being objectively offensive to being anti-Semitic. It's hate speech. Now, the founder of Barstool Bar, Dave Portnoy, is understandably and justifiably angry. I mean, I would be pissed off if somebody put this up in my establishment, and you don't have to be Jewish like Dave Portnoy to be angry about it.
Bar in Philadelphia, Barstool Sampson Street, usually a great fucking bar. You know, bottle service, people buy drinks. You get a sign. There was a sign yesterday that said, fuck the Jews. I've been shaking. I've been so fucking mad for the last 2 hours. Like, I instantly got on. This is why the emergency press conference was late, because I was so over the top. It's like, I'm going to fucking make it my life fucking mission to ruin these people. Like, I'm coming to your throat. I'm never.
Now, if this sign had said F Zionism or F Zionists, I would have no issue with it. However offensive it might be to Zionists, it is not anti-Semitic. I would use the same energy for such a F the Zionist sign as I would for a sign that says F white supremacist, F white supremacy. Many of you know I absolutely detest Zionism, and I see Zionism and white supremacy as poisonous fruits from the same poisonous tree of hate. There is no difference between them. And as a parent of a 20-year-old, it really begs the question for me, how do these 20-year-olds or 20-something-year-olds, how did they think it was cool to be dancing, drinking around a sign that said, F the Jews? Because we all know that for many of these 20-year-olds, they would not have given Israel a second thought before October 7th. They probably would not have even had Zionism in their vocabulary before October 7th, which tells you that everything they know about F the Jews and why they F the Jews is because of the actions and words of Zionists and the State of Israel. Now, it would sadden me if these young generation people can't distinguish between Zionists and anti-Zionists. I mean, I consider myself an anti-Zionist unequivocally and unapologetically so. Because if they were paying attention, they would see that anti-Zionist Jews particularly have been doing the Lord's work. They've been protesting. They've been speaking out. They've been condemning Zionism and Israel. They've been condemning the act of genocide, the act of ethnic cleansing, starvation of Palestinians. They have been educating people of their Jewish identity having jack all to do with Zionism. And on the other hand, these 20-year-olds would have seen Zionist Jews and Zionist Christians and Zionist atheists and the like totally controlling the narrative by, for instance, they are revoking people's degrees. For instance, they're getting legislation passed that would punish people who boycott Israel. They are, for instance, assassinating people's characters, calling anybody and anything anti-Semite that holds a watermelon, waves a Palestinian flag, says from the river to the sea. Anything is anti-Semitic now. That kind of behavior is what is shaping the minds and thoughts of the young generation against Jewish people. Dave Portnoy comes down and says he's no longer going to ruin their lives, but he's going to send them to Auschwitz for an education. And let's just pause for a second. Do you understand the power dynamic that gives a white Jewish man the grounds or temerity to say he can ruin someone's life? I mean, this is hate speech. The hate speech is enough to ruin their lives if they are criminally prosecuted. So what more does Dave Portnoy think he can do to ruin their life over and above what the law would probably provide? I'm sorry, I found those words really triggering. But anyway, he wants to send them to Auschwitz, and I have questions.
So, yeah, my initial reaction was like, I'm going to fucking burn these people to the ground.
Burn them and their families to the ground?
And it's like, you know what?
That's
maybe
genocidal
that's not
talk.
the best course of action. Maybe I can use this as a teaching moment.
It's what Israel is doing to Palestinians.
Before people just are like, fuck the Jews or any group and the hate, let's try to turn a hideous incident into maybe a learning experience, as cliche and very unlike me.
For you.
But I talked to both the culprits who I know are super involved in it, talked to the families. I'm sending these kids to Auschwitz. They've agreed to go. That's, of course, the Holocaust concentration camps. been in touch with the Crafts, who run the anti-hate group. We're going to send these kids to Auschwitz, and they're going to do a tour of the concentration camps in Germany, and hopefully learn something, and maybe like their lives aren't ruined, and they think twice, and more importantly, other people like see it's not just like words you're throwing around.
Words
So to me,
like burning them to the ground.
That's a fair outcome of this.
Honestly, that was triggering. Because how does Dave Portnoy get away with saying he wants to educate these young 20-something-year-olds about language mattering when he's using genocidal language like burning them and their families to ground? It is very triggering because burning Palestinians and generation of Palestinians to the ground is exactly what Israel is doing to Palestinians. And that kind of genocidal language is what we hear coming out of Zionist Israeli settlers, Zionist Israeli Jews, Zionist American Jews, Zionist British Jews, and the like. So for it to be coming out of somebody who's taking a stand against hate speech, yeah. I have questions. What exactly are you hoping them to achieve by going to Auschwitz? I think going to places like Auschwitz is very educational and important. But given the words he's used now, I'm thinking if the point is to send them to Auschwitz and they should come out, being fed Zionist talking points, and that is not an education, that's an indoctrination. Vast difference. If the point is to intimidate them into silence, where this same person who's sending them actually saying, I will burn you alive, then that is not an education, that is an intimidation. So please, I hope these young people come out understanding that never again means never again for all, not for some, that they come out understanding that even a people who have been persecuted do not have the right to persecute another in the name of an ideology or even in the name of a state.